Hi, I'm Chocolate Lover here, and I'm collaborating with T-Pro today. I've got Tom, the CEO, and I've got Tatiana, the marketing officer of T-Pro, trying pairing with chocolate and tea.
Okay, last tea and chocolate pairing, which is going to be very exciting. So for this tea, we decided to go with Pu'er, which is super exciting. It's aged tea that, similar like whiskey or wine, you have to age it for many, many years for it to develop its amazing flavor. And this one is actually rose Pu'er, so it's got like rose petals. It's basically tea that is compressed together with rose petals and then left to age for quite a few years. So it's super exciting.
Let's get our pu'er out. So the shape of these they call taucha, and taucha basically means dome shaped, and it's quite a traditional way to press pu'er. Used to be used as currency.
Yeah, actually
Cross-border trade, so you used to give these as little coins.
They were actually coins, these, wow.
It was used for two benefits. One, it ages better pressed into a cake, and also it's more easy to transport. And so it's like a trade mechanism, especially across borders with like, I don't know, nearby countries to China, like Mongolia or whatever, they would trade with pu'er between themselves.
How long are these being aged? Do you know?
These are 2012, these ones.
2012, okay.
So there are older ones, and you can get some very expensive pu'er dating a long time. 2012 is a nice balance. This is a ripe pu'er. You can have sheng or shu, raw or ripe. Ripe is made slightly differently to raw. I think raw benefit from the longest aging. They take more time to change in terms of the flavour over time.
The ripe one, they actually have like a special procedure where they they pile it up and they dampen, sort of like put damp cloth on top, and it sort of ferments. But it's sort of like this beneficial bacteria that form in them, and that's why pu'er is actually really good for digestion, and it's really good to eat after a really heavy meal. So I think it could be a really good pairing with chocolate because it'll help you to, and hopefully you won't, gain any weight for eating the chocolate.
After our third bar of chocolate.
Exactly. What a great way to, finish off the review and hopefully burn off all the calories.
Oh, definitely. It's quite, because it's gonna. So we're trying out the cappuccino one. Organic milk chocolate this time with cracked coffee, like the dark chocolate we had, cinnamon and yogurt. Now that's an interesting mixture, from spices to coffee and then another milk product, yogurt. The packaging is an interesting packaging because it's much lighter than the espresso one. Has a much and it's interesting because like when I walk past it, if I don't see cappuccino, I would have thought this was a salted caramel flavour because of the bar of the.
I agree. Yeah.
Cacao bar, and it has a nice and monkeys. I haven't mentioned this, but there's the monkeys on it. I'm not sure how related to monkeys, but I think because Dr. Choc, the family are Indian, and there's a lot of monkeys in India, in the forests of the Indian mountains and all, and it's like, and there's also a little description about each one has a little description at the bottom, the chocolate, about the flavors and everything, and
cool. Let's try it. Cool. Put this aside.
So cracked coffee, cinnamon and yogurt, organic milk chocolate. So this is a milk chocolate, unlike the other ones, which is cool. And the reason we thought, without trying it yet, the rose pu'er was to be a good idea. I think yogurt, cinnamon, rose fits quite well in that wheelhouse. It's also darker than our black tea in terms of its aesthetic, which maybe pairs a little bit better with lighter chocolates, and similarly very mineral, very floral, very dark, and what would be the best way of putting it with pu'er? Mineral's a good word for it. Maybe woody, maybe nutty. But also that
earthy,
rose.
really earthy.
Yeah, really earthy. But also that rose coming through, I think, will balance with that cinnamon and that yogurt. That's the hope.
Yeah, because like looking at the chocolate, when you think of like cinnamon, you kind of think of that kind of reddish colour. I mean, it kind of looks a bit slightly reddish, but also the yogurt. And I would have thought it would be slightly more whiter because you're using more. You've got milk and yogurt, so you would have thought it'd be much more whiter. But it's just still look like milk chocolate to me. It's very small powder, so it's not going to have like chunks of bits of cinnamon.
Oh, I do love this too. I think the thing with pu'er as well, which might work well with what you're saying, is also yogurt. You know, aging qualities of yogurt.
Yeah.
Pu'er, even the probiotics, the bacteria, which is also what the pu'er is all about all these like fermented bacteria that are good for your gut, right? And yogurt is the same thing. So
I think I've had this tea before. It sounds
really
that smells familiar. It's that earthy. The smell very earthy, very aroma. It's just. Yeah, it's very organically.
You'd think it would be incredibly bitter by looking at it, because most teas that end up this colour would be very bitter. But with pu'er, this is exactly what you want, that slightly opaque, dark liquor, and you get a real hit of beautiful flavour from it.
I really love the tea because it helps them stay calm and focused during their meditations.
Of course,
and obviously the Chinese wanted horses for farming and all kind of stuff. Okay, I'm actually super excited to try this.
Yeah, let's try it with this
cappuccino with yogurt, cinnamon.
Oh wow, I can smell the spices.
Cinnamon spice. And guys, if you don't know what cinnamon is, cinnamon is a bark of a tree grown in Indonesia. Wow.
It's really coming through that cinnamon, isn't it?
And cappuccino.
Wow! Oh my god. That punch. It's like instant.
Maybe it's not correct, but for some reason I feel like rose and cinnamon really find a place together. I don't know where I'd have seen that combination before.
Me neither, but it sounds like it could work. Let's see.
But are you guys going to get the taste of the yogurt?
A little bit.
Quite creamy. There's quite creaminess.
I can't work out if that's the milk chocolate or the yogurt. But you're right, it's smoother and lighter.
I wonder how they get this cappuccino flavour to it. I don't even know. I guess it's like a little bit of coffee-ish.
Yeah, I mean it's probably just. I know why it's called cappuccino because of the
creaminess with the yogurt and milk.
And then there's the coffee bean.
Okay, let's see.
There's a bit of a crunch as well. It has a bit of a crunch.
Oh my god, it's so good, Tom. Wow.
That rounds it off, doesn't it?
Oh my god, it works so well together. I had no idea. Oh, what?
Wow.
I like it when we were doing our espresso with our Wuyuwa black tea, we were too similar. With this one, it adds a whole different area of flavour to what is already something delicious. And that's fantastic. It's
I need more.
a lot like the experience I had with the lime chocolate, because together so much more than what they would have been separate, which is awesome.
And another thing about this, it's actually quite intense. It's like the dark chocolate. Because usually milk chocolate you can have like a whole big bar of it and that goes, and you can't really have that in dark chocolate. But this is actually really intense. Like really rich.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think also something about pu'er sits well on the stomach. And when I eat too much chocolate, like actually you can feel guilty, but I don't feel guilty today. Something about these two together just seem to offset.
It does, yeah. It does actually, like, it counterbalance each other because it's kind of washes it down, and then you're still having the flavour of the cappuccino in your mouth. Like it's like drinking a cup of cappuccino. I'm literally feel like I've just drank some cappuccino,
yeah, true.
and this makes it into liquid form. I'm like, what?
I agree.
This is crazy.
But sometimes I drink cappuccino, and it has this like bitterness to it a little bit, whereas this has like none of that. It's so smooth. It's so like floral, and I think the rose and the the cappuccino and the cinnamon just work together so amazingly. I'm so impressed. This is definitely
Gosh, they do
like
work well.
10 out of 10 for me. Really good.
Yeah, I think the cappuccino idea by itself is usually quite filling. Like you get a lot of milk with your coffee,
And this isn't, yeah.
whereas this you just get all of the flavour and none of the feeling of maybe too much coffee. You know, when you have like a big coffee,
Oh
like,
yes, yeah, it's a bit like
it can
strong.
be a bit intense, but this is so smooth and calm and sort of completing with those cinnamons, yogurts, and rose and mineral.
I agree.
I find that when you have chocolate makers making these chocolates, I find when they add too much ingredients, it confuses the brain. Because when I had a pina colada one, it wasn't. It confused me because it was like, where's the pineapple flavor? Where's the rum flavor? This one? Because yogurt is basically milk based, and there's milk chocolate, and there's milk, and there's cinnamon, the coffee. It does round out really nicely.
I agree. It's not too much. It's not too confusing. It makes sense, and it also like the pairing makes sense so well.
I think
cool,
in general
yeah.
the tea strength. This is, you know,
Really
relative to lighter floral aromatic ones. We've got a dark, strong tea here, and I think the pairing with cappuccino, which is a lighter taste with the milk, and just it seems to just balance really well rather than be too similar. I wouldn't say they're too similar. They just add different things together.
Yeah. No, it works so well, and I actually feel like, you know, we were wondering whether we should pair the darkest one with the espresso one, but I think that it balances out the cappuccino one so well.
And it leaves the coffee aftertaste as well. It has that kind of. I've just drank some coffee. I felt like I've just drank some coffee. Even though I never do. So if anyone who doesn't like coffee, like myself, I'm not really a coffee drinker. I prefer tea. It's that kind of like the experience. That's what I say to my viewers, is that like an experience. It's like going to like the theatre. You know, you can watch it online, but you were there to have that experience of live performances, and this is like a live performance. You know, of flavoursome and flavour.
I highly recommend for you guys to do something similar, because, you know, kind of just like recreate it by trying the tea on its own, trying the chocolate on its own, and try it together, and just like see how the flavors start mixing together in your mouth, you know, bringing out different nuances and complexity of both the tea and the chocolate, and doing it with something like this, which is sort of very elevated both on the chocolate and the tea front, you know. And you can see how the flavors are really well thought through, both on both sides, and it's this harmony, this like orchestra of
Definitely, it's just
super nice.
And the one thing about this chocolate, it's intense, but not too intense. So it's like, you know, when you're driving down a motorway, it's not too busy, and it's just a nice free flow.
Yep.
I like it. I really like it.
I do some really
like
weird
that.
analogies sometimes.
Honestly, yeah. It doesn't feel overpowering or too busy, as you say. Maybe
I could
it's
have
because...
a lot of this and a lot of this together.
I
I could have a small amount of this together
Yeah.
with this.
A lot of that as well.
And then this one was like a whole experience to itself, but a busy experience because it had so much going on with the lime. I think this one is, at least, as you say, not as busy with competing flavours, but just the ones that are there all make sense together.
Because I think the espresso, it was probably not my favourite, but if I wanted some like dark chocolate, I'd probably go for that one. But my favourite would be the milk one, and then the lime. Because the lime, you know, it's just basically just like a citrus with a little bit of coconut hint. But the cappuccino one, it's like if you're gonna have in a cold day, we're getting Christmas time, winter
I was
time.
thinking the same.
You can just have a cup of tea, coffee,
Yeah.
boom, into one. It's literally a coffee tea.
I agree. I think this is more like a winter combination.
Yeah.
This is more of a summer combination.
Yeah. Because you have that. So like
Yeah.
if you're sober, you don't want alcohol, you can just have that with some tea.
Yeah.
And it's literally you creating a mojito within chocolate and tea. It's just like Willy Wonka, really.
So
yeah. So now
your favourite chocolate was
this one.
Was this one,
Yeah.
then this one,
Yeah.
So we've
and
got
then your lime.
You've got number 1, then we've got number 2, and then we've got number 3.
But in terms of pairings, number 1,
yeah.
number 2, and number 3 as a.
I want to say a big thank you to the Tea Pros. It's been a big pleasure. I didn't know that you can actually pair tea with chocolate that well. And please like and subscribe. Also, I've got a store, a chocolate store, well, a merchandise store. I'll post all the links in description. You can buy this t-shirt, there's mugs, there's masks, there's leggings, there's everything you want in the store. Christmas is coming up. Good choice for gifts. And yeah, I'll just say thank you very much for having me and being able to come to Windsor.
Such a pleasure.
It's so good. This has just been amazing. I had a
Yay!
brilliant time, and I just hope everyone has a great weekend and a great week and a great life. And thank you for watching my video.
Bye.